This me, Shivaleela Allen. So please stay tuned for this amazing, authentic, raw discussion. And if you have questions, feel free to stay behind and let's talk about it 2.0.
All right. So I hope everyone listened and heard that amazing podcast given by
What is over there? What's it like over there? What would it feel like over there? What does this feel like? Well, I can describe it. It feels fun. It feels fulfilling. It feels satisfying. It feels stimulating. That's all there is. It's just here's where I want to be and here's where I am. That's it. So what complicates it? What complicates it? Why? What causes there to be more than these two vibrational points of relativity? How did it get complicated? Well, you might have asked them what they thought, and they thought all of those thoughts. And you might have asked them what they were doing, and they're doing all of those things. As Jerry and Esther program Magellan, Magellan says, here you are, turn this way, turn this way, turn this way. And if they listen, they end up right where they said they want to be. Can you imagine if somehow Magellan went crazy and overlaid 10 different maps of 10 different places and 10 different people's destinations? So instead of just where they are and where they want to be, there were where 10 people are and where 10 people wanted to be. That'd be chaotic, wouldn't it? They'd look at the screen and there would be information that didn't have any relationship with where they are. That's the only thing that makes it ever anything other than really clear. Jerry and Esther had an interesting experience because with this new book, the publisher of the book called them and said, the first book missed the New York Times bestseller list by fewer books than you sold through your warehouse. So what do you think about sending out an email list or an email announcement, just asking people to buy the book from Amazon or from one of the distributors that is counted? And Jerry and Esther looked at each other and they said, we've never asked anybody to do anything. We just allowed it to be. But this publisher said, it will be very beneficial because once that happens, then you're on a different list. And then bookstores that usually don't even handle your book want it. And it just makes the distribution process simpler once you are on that list. And so Jerry and Esther said, all right. And then they sort of got caught up in the fun of it. It was fun to be number one at Amazon for a little bit. And it was fun to be on of all of the books in the world. There was a list of 150 of all books, fiction, nonfiction, hardback, soft cover, all of the books. And they were 145 of all of the books in the world and stayed there for several days. And it was sort of fun watching those lists. And then Esther found herself getting up in the morning and clicking on that link to see where they were on the list. And then she started noticing when they weren't number one on the list, who was number one on the list. And then one day, Jerry said to us as they were driving, Abraham, why aren't we feeling so good? And we said, because you have left competition and the feeling of competition behind you long ago. You have established your relationship between who you are and what you want. And anything that happens around that is just fine. You've allowed law of attraction to do its work, but you haven't tried to consider your work in relationship to that work. That has not been what you've done. And so you have introduced chaos into your vibration. And as soon as they heard it, they both began to laugh because, of course, that's what it was. And it isn't that they felt competitive. They are wishing well everyone who is having the experience. They are not wanting to get the number one spot and hold it for themselves. It wasn't that at all. It was the simple thing of trying to introduce into their vibration. In other words, when they consider their book and they think about their book, and they think about how it felt for the book to flow, and they think about someone reading the book and someone benefiting from the book. Everything's in perfect alignment with them. But when they think about their book in relationship to that book, and that book, and that book, and that book, now they're introducing all of that vibration into what was a clear space, and now it is no longer a clear space. That's what introduces chaos. It's putting your nose in other people's business, you see. When all you're thinking about is the relationship between where I am and where I want to be, it is such a clear distance. Because Jerry and Esther are going from Phoenix to San Diego. It's 400 miles, and they know how to do it. And they never get frustrated along the way, ever. Because it's simple, it's quantifiable, it's understandable. And every journey is just that way, you see. We'll hear you. We interrupted you, but we wanted to get that basis in, because we want you to realize that everything that everyone wants, no matter what it is, you want it because you think you would feel better. And do you know what feeling better is? Feeling better is alignment. Feeling better is being lined up with you, period. It doesn't mean it isn't about anything else. It's not about somebody else doing something. It's not about somebody else thinking something. It isn't about how many books you sell, or how well your music is received, or how many people buy your products from your business. It isn't about anything except my energy and my energy, and the relationship of my energy to my energy, over which I have absolute control. So in a day, you can think about how I want to feel and what my dream is and where I am in relationship to it. And you can talk and 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 talk with one intention, one simple intention of finding that vibe that feels good to you. Or you can watch television and you can think about what everybody else is doing, and you can watch all the other lists, and you can listen to what's happening in all the other countries. You can listen to people making decisions about things that you have no say, and you can debate over the rightness and the wrongness of their decisions. And then you can remember what your mother said about this, and you can compare your child rearing skills with your mother's child rearing skills. And then you can remember how she argued with her sister about how to raise children. And then you can think about your friend and how your friend raises her children. And then you can think about those people and those people and those people in other countries, and pretty soon you've got chaos in your vibration, and you know what? You deserve it. Where when you say, hey, I have the ability to focus on a myriad of things, and some of them feel good when I do and some of them don't. Let me see, just through trial and error, which ones feel good. Esther will lie in her bed sometimes and think about something that's going on with her mother and she can just feel a sort of knot welling up within her, because there are things that are outside of her control. And then she's got a choice. She can stay there and focus upon those things that are outside of her control, or she can focus upon something that is within her control, and the knot goes away, you see. It's just a matter of caring how you feel, and then just practice thinking. Practice thinking. Practice thinking with your newfound knowledge that how I feel matters.
I'm doing it so much better than I ever have. And I lived alone for a lot of years, and I was much better at it then. So
No, you weren't.
Well,
we love you, but
no, tell me. Give it to me.
You weren't so much better at it. You just had less to try to manage.
Yeah.
In other words, when you're all alone, there's not nearly as many people to bug you.
Yeah.
But then you must become a hermit to be happy.
Yeah, no.
And in time, you won't even like yourself.
Yeah.
In other words, that never works. It's so much better to stabilize and look for things that feel good wherever you are, and then you can go anywhere and feel good.
I want that. And I love the richness in my life, and I love all of the people, and I love the variety. And most of the time I really am just devouring it and finding so many wonderful things about it.
Well, let's talk. We want to go back to this chaos thing, because we know how uncomfortable that feels. And we want you to realize that anytime you give your attention to anything, your attention to it activates the vibration of it within you. And a feeling of being scattered or confused, that chaotic feeling, is about focusing upon lots of different things and usually contradictory things, so that they're all activated within you, so that you're running around on the brink of things being activated depending upon what your environment brings to you. And that makes you feel like you want to hide from people. It makes you feel like you want to close yourself off from them. Where when you show yourself by practicing when it's comfortable to do so, and that it usually begins when you're by yourself, as you practice choosing thoughts that feel good and you use your willpower to focus upon them because they feel good, what happens is, in a very short period of time, you deactivate, by virtue of activating these things, you deactivate those things, so that law of attraction must give you more of those kinds of things. So then your life becomes one of greater harmonics instead of disharmonics. You don't want to be single-minded, because we like the word you used. You like the richness and fullness of the variety of your experience. But you can have richness in harmony, or you can have richness or variety in disharmony or discord. So it's all about my newfound determination to focus with the intention of generating a feeling that feels good to me while I do it. That really is the key to what we call in this workshop art of allowing. The art of allowing all of the wonderful things in that want in, and that source has already become, that source is calling me toward. Let all of those wonderful things in by virtue of my releasing resistance, which is the only thing that's been keeping them out. There are two things that we would encourage you to do in terms of action. Sit every day for 15 minutes with the intention of filling your body full of air. Breathe, 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 breathe. Just breathe. That's your assignment. 15 minutes of breathing, 15 minutes of in and out, and appreciation for this delicious oxygen. In and out, in and out, in and out. Just breathing, 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 breathing. If you would just do that, your chaotic world would smooth right out. It would. Just by focusing on breathing for 15 minutes every day. It would. 15 minutes of breathing, really breathing. Breathing with the idea of filling my body, filling my lungs, so that my lungs can transport the oxygen and all of its life-giving qualities to the extremities of my body. Breathing. If you're running, if you're moving your body, you're doing it automatically. But breathe, 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 breathe. It is the exercise of allowing above all other exercises of allowing, because when you're focusing on breathing, Esther's sister called and said that they have Esther's mother on oxygen all the time now, and that she is at the limit of what they can turn the knob to. And Esther wants to just take it away from her altogether. She wants to just sit and say, let's just breathe. She knows that her mother has the ability to breathe, but they put the oxygen on her face some time ago, and now she has become a very lazy breather. Why fill your lungs full of air when you don't have to? When they'll give you something that gives you an easy way. And so Esther can feel that her mother has just become lazier and lazier and lazier, not in a derogatory way, about breathing. And so what's happening is the more they give her, the less she has to breathe. And the less she has to breathe, the more they give her, until she's getting all out of balance. She's getting oxygen toxicity in her body. You see, that if she would just breathe, in other words, the air is there for you, the well-being is there for you, source energy has lined everything up for you. Just breathe yourself into receiving the fullness, and no chaos there. Just breathe. Just breathe. It is the most natural thing in the world. You are worthy and loved and brilliant, and your life has caused you to launch so many rockets that are right there, ready to come into fruition. Just breathe them into being. And then after you breathe for 15 minutes every day for a while, then use that time to breathe and love me. Breathe and love me. Breathe and love the air. Breathe and love my body. Breathe and love my nose. Breathe and love my lungs. Breathe and love my physical mechanism. Just breathe and love and breathe and love and breathe and love and breathe and love. And after you've done that for a few days, then breathe and love that one over there, and breathe and love that one over there, and breathe and love and breathe and love. And before you know it, that chaos, which is only because of too many activated things within you, lines right up to this perfect picture that you've been accumulating over many, many years, that source energy has already become. And then suddenly you begin noticing that who you have become in terms of non-physical energy, you just begin becoming in terms of manifestation. You just become it. And when people say, how did you do it? Was it hard? You say, it was as easy as breathing, really.
Thank you so much.
Heard that heard that amazing. Right. So I hope everyone listened and heard that amazing.
Peace and blessings. Give me a moment while my PC loads, and I have another awesome discussion for everyone. So please stay tuned. Grab some water or something to drink in the meantime.
All right. So I hope everyone listened and heard that amazing podcast given by Abraham Hicks. And I honestly feel like the entire thing resonated with me. And with that being said, I'm saying that because I really feel that choosing peace over competition and staying in your own lane is apparent, especially for all ages and all walks of life. And right now, I have my little one here sitting with me, and she listened in, and I think that she understands exactly what I mean by that. And can you introduce yourself?
Hi,
What's your name?
Janava Canning.
Okay, Janava. So, how do you feel about your life and choosing happiness as a part of your everyday life? Do you like that?
Yes, I also like rainbows.
So you like rainbows? Does rainbows make you happy?
Yes,
Right. So I feel like it's important to have things that make you happy in life too. Do you think that you are special?
yes,
Why do you feel like you're special?
because I like to play.
Why else do you feel that you're special out of all the children in the world? Choose one thing that you could think of.
Especially because I like rainbows and I like to play. I like to make arts and crafts. I'm just special above all of that.
Right. And I think that means that you are a ecopreneur. That means you do many things, right?
Yes,
And you also like to create art, right?
correct.
So what type of art do you create?
I create monsters. Sometimes I create monsters, but also I create it's kind of like making an activity or doing experiments. That's what I like to create sometimes.
Okay, dude, what do you call those arts?
I call those like just like NFTs sometimes, but I also like to do things that makes me happy more best.
And I feel like you're saying that because that makes you different. And choosing things that make you different and happy could exclude competition, meaning it could make you special and make you stand out. And it could also inspire other people to not compete with others and to just be themselves, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's tell everybody thank you. And we are going to speak a little bit more on that. Tell everyone goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Follow my Instagram and comment below and hit the like button on bottom. I'm just kidding, everyone. I'm just kidding.
And your Instagram is say I am the real Janava Canning.
I am the real Janava Canning.
How adorable. And so to add to what Mrs. Janava had to say, all I have to say is that I live in my truths and that I am only who I say that I am, and in no shape, way, or form do I live, breathe, or sleep anything whatsoever close to a contradiction. I understand the laws of attraction and that you attract what you are and who you are. And a lot of the times I find myself attracting the truth because I am the truth. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the way that God has made me. I appreciate the names that God have bestowed upon me. I appreciate my husband who has played a huge role in my success. I appreciate my daughter who looks up to me as her shero, someone who is so inspirational to her. Imagine someone who is 10 times the age of you, and all you know is this amazing person, and all you see is people who compliment and who love on your mom. This is what she sees daily. And I'm just sharing these things because this is my daily life. When I'm out and about, I am loved on and I love on others. And it's not a secret that I am a very high vibrational individual. And so a lot of people who I interact with online are a lot of people who I've actually met in real life in the physical world. And I continue to want to do that because I feel it's important to keep that interaction despite what's going on in the world. I'm someone who looks past um, those issues when it comes to networking and coming together as people. If they wanted us to stay away from each other, I found a way to interact even more. And this is why I have immersed myself in the Web3 world, because I'm still here and I've learned to control my energy and put my energy where it's needed. And I've never made a mistake in my life. And I don't regret anything in my life. And my journey is only getting better and better. And each day that I wake up, I am happy. I live in happiness and harmony. Oh, if you only knew, if I could only share how I got here. And so this is why I share these powerful lectures, to actually get those to start to listen and to start to unlock things in the mind, to start to think, to start to use critical thinking on life. Because there's no time to waste on building yourself up. And no matter what no one says about you, there's no competition. There's no one like you. Even if you're a twin, LOL. Even if you're a twin, there's still no one like you. You are just perfectly and different and authentic the way God made you. And so I'm going to wrap up this point that I'm trying to discuss here in Saturday Night Live. Let's talk about it 2.0 with me, your hostess. And for sure, if anyone has any more questions, let me know. But just remember to stay in the mind of allowing and to put your attention and focus on things that matter and to manage yourself. Keep your mindfulness and to remember that you attract what you are, who you are, what you think. And even though those may not understand who you are and some may not like who you are, I say, don't worry about them. They don't matter, period. You keep doing you and you keep being great. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of SNL Let's Talk About It 2.0 with your hostess, Shivaleela Allen. Be sure to follow me on my social media platforms. Also, to get alerts for these weekly Web3 events, be sure to join the Discord server. These will give you updates on all of the live broadcasts, as well as you can collect your free NFT POAPs for attending as a community incentive. I would like for you to also become a Patreon member so that you can receive NFT token gated access to all of my monthly events. Please be sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and also follow the Raw DAO on IG at P2d RAW Network. P2d RAW Network. We also live stream on all social media platforms, and you can catch that on YouTube as well. So please follow the Raw TV on YouTube. You can also follow me here at idance Art House Web3 on YouTube, where all of the live streams will be posted. I wish that everyone has an
Estoy
awesome,
aprendiendo.
fulfilling, and prosperous day.
Sí, pues sí es fácil.
I do not own the rights to any of the music that you hear today.
Peace and blessings. Please love the space. I'm going to open up the floor now. And I hope everyone enjoyed the live discussion. Right now, we're broadcasting live on Instagram, YouTube, and several other platforms. Here, you can collect your free POAP. You can either collect that or you could mint it. So please be sure to do that. Follow me over here. And let's have a small discussion. Thank you so much for being here on this lovely Christmas Eve.
Peace and blessings, everyone. Just wanted to come by. I definitely enjoyed the presentation. I think the video you played at the beginning was also really cool. I love one of the things you said about inviting chaos into your space. And then I loved how you also included your own perspectives on and brought Janava in. It was amazing. I love that.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like I enjoy pre-recording because a lot of the times I can always add on to it while we're here in the space live. But a lot of those are real predictions because today I actually had something happen with me and my twin, and it was kind of discouraging. But again, I filmed that several days ago and I'm dropping it today. So I test the energy and I test myself and I make sure that I'm passing those tests. I am only doing this for our generations, and so I try to encourage people that when we feel emotions, that we can't always act on them right when we feel them. It's really for us to sit with, and it's not always for us to share right away or out. I am very good at this when it comes to therapy and using meditation and meditative techniques. But when it comes to chaos, you can't always approach chaos that way. And so all I say is peace be still. But I am who I am. And I am a protector and I am a mother. And I am who I say I am, and I've never changed that because way God made me, and I encourage people to be that as who God made them, but righteously. So when we're dealing with children, you know, we have to be careful with what we're doing and how we represent ourselves as adults. And I think a lot we forget about that. We get caught up with ourselves. We could get caught up with holidays, days, but children are not concerned with that. So we forget about that children remember things, and that's their experiences are really on the parents. And I understand that the parents have control until the child becomes a certain age. And so I hold all accountability on grown parents and people who are nurturers and people who have common sense. And so if we have that knowledge, we must use it daily and practice it daily. And if we mess up, we could forgive ourselves, but we must try to work on it. And when someone is not trying to work on themselves, you have to let it go. You have to let them be. You have to let them live their own journey, even if you're a twin. You have to live by example. And that is why I do what I do. I really wake up every day to live a life for the people, literally. And I talk about it because it's the truth. And so I'm careful with what I do and what I say. And I understand that it carries on legacies. And also, we bring trauma. So being able to cut that and then still build upon ourselves, we have to differentiate what's more important, our priorities. And it's the children, it's the generations that's coming behind us. What representation are we giving them? As melanated beings, first of all. So we have to step it up as people. We gotta step it up. You can talk the talk all you want, but what are you doing? What do you have that's tangible? What will you leave here when everything is said and done? What will you leave for your child? No one else can do that. And so even when I'm talking, I'm also talking to my people because we need that sternness. We want to be baby, but it's not time to be baby. It's time to face the truth. We have issues to work on and we got to start working on them. It's no time to waste. It's no time to waste. And knowledge comes in all shapes and forms. So Abraham Hicks is the truth. She just comes in a different shape, a different shade, a different form. And so I understand that also we must work on ourselves when it comes to speaking and articulating ourselves and how we deliver things. Okay, so management, all of those things, therapy. We deny these things like we are too good for it, but honestly, we could utilize it and be great. And so all that pride don't work over here. Pride does not work over here. The truth, Shiva is the truth in the digital and physical. And so when you're coming over here, make sure you're ready for that. Just be sure that you're ready for that. When you're watching my page, make sure you're ready for that. Be sure that you're ready to face that. Because I don't play with God's name. So don't play with my name. Don't play with our children. Don't play with your life. This is not a game. This is real. This is real work being done in the digital. And where everything that I'm saying is being recorded. Everything that I'm saying is being documented. And when I am here, I am putting my heart into it. And like I said, this is SNL. Let's talk about it 2.0. And so if anybody has anything to share on this Christmas Eve, I understand that the energy is very chaotic right now. But it's not about that. It's about you focusing on you. I told a friend of mine, Wusa, I was serious about that. Whenever there's chaos coming my way, I dance. So if you catch me dancing, you may know why. But Shiva, you will never see Shiva broken down. I have a backbone, and I have a man and a husband that is there to support me. So I encourage everyone to find a support system. You must find someone that you can talk to. No man is an island. And I digress.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I definitely feel that, Shiva, like you said, with it being the holidays, and families getting together. I've definitely been distant from my own family for that same thing. I take it very serious that we're, breaking a lot of generational curses and doing a lot for the next. And for those that don't want to, I think that it's serious because you're passing that on as well, because there are generational curses and there's generational wealth, and you're passing them on no matter what, whether what you're doing, you're passing on something. And so it's like, what are you passing on to the next? And I think, when we look at ourselves and, really take it serious to who our children can even look at family, at whom they would admire and think certain things are okay and not okay. It is serious, and we are, out at a spiritual war, and these different things that we may hear that you may not even realize, but we have to always be, just aware of that and that seriousness, and just always, like you said, being here and being present and putting our all into it, because we never even know how much our part, right, has to affect the bigger mission. So I definitely agree with you, especially at this time. We usually call everyone because we know everybody will be together, and then we kind of give them, updates on what we have going on, and it's like, nudge, nudge, get into it, or you're gonna miss out on another 6 months. When the next holiday come up, we're gonna still be even further, so I definitely think this is an interesting time to have these kind of conversations about family and changes and not being willing to change, because it also comes down to like a willingness. And I think that's the part that can sometimes be disappointing, when you see it so clear, and then those that you think would get it don't, and then it almost becomes like they're just even like unwilling to see it at that point, right? Because it still seems clear as day. And so, like you said, so then you start having all these emotions that you start feeling about the situation. And I think, like you said, you really hit the nail on the head with this one, with how you have to just not let those emotions, they'll help make decisions, still use rationale, so that you can move accordingly, and everything that happens after will continue to happen after. So I digress as well. I just said I definitely feel you on that, especially at this time. We keep the spirit high, and, keep marching at our own pace, and, pour that into our little ones. Let them experiment and learn and, explore, and those that are around will enjoy.
Right, and I'm just so grateful to be here, to be able to express that, and actually get that out, because this will be actually replayed over and over, however many times. But I understand that it is not in vain. Everything that I am teaching and trying to educate and promote will not be in vain. Even if you're not here, you always be here to replay, because that's why I have this space. It's an immersive space. And speaking of that, today is the holidays, so I know everyone has plans, and so I will not hold you, but be sure to be back for some amazing events coming up. And if you have any questions, you can say them now, or you can even leave a note. But here again, we're some busy parents, and we're going to deal with some in real life things shortly, and I will totally get the space back up. So I love you guys, and have an awesome day. And if I don't talk back to you before the new year, happy New Year's. Love you.